Hi, I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio, and welcome to the Mayor's Roundtable. Intelligent conversation, a semi-round table bringing you, the citizen of Berkeley Heights, information to keep you informed with your mayor, Robert Woodruff. Mayor, thank you for coming out tonight. As always, it's been a little bit of a hiatus since the last time we've been on. It's been 3 months, so I know there's a lot going on. There's a lot you want to cover. I guess biggest on everybody's mind is foremost the redevelopment. Where do we stand with that, and what's our update?
Okay, Doc. Maybe what I'll do is combine redevelopment and affordable housing, since they
they are dovetailed anyway.
They do dovetail, and we've pretty much considered them that during the last 5-6 months that we've made a significant number of presentations. This past, on the 17th, a couple days ago, the court approved our affordable housing agreement with Fair Share Housing and with those interveners, meaning those developers who had become a part of the lawsuit.
How far do we have to take them? Do we have to go to court, or we just send a proposal?
No, as a result of some tremendous negotiation by our group that included Mike Mastretta, our town planner, John Basicolo, who's our BA, Mark Fasher, who's one of our councilmen, and some other individuals, Joe Sordillo, our attorney. I think we did very, very well, particularly on the fact of what we're hearing is going on in other towns. And what we've done is we've assured ourselves immunity from lawsuits from developers for the next 10 years. Now, obviously, there are things that have to be done in that 10-year period of time. As some of you may remember, the developers were seeking somewhere in the area of 800
That's where
units.
we started, yeah.
Where we started, and where it came out is at the number of 389.
Wow.
Which we feel pretty good about, and a large portion of that 389 is being subsumed in what we talk about in the redevelopment area of the town, and that has to do, obviously, with Connell, who was not a party to the suit, but we do have an agreement with them.
Meaning that's going to go against our affordable housing?
Absolutely.
We'll get credit for that.
You get credit, and Connell has always been a good neighbor, and they were in this instance. They did not join the suit. We thought we could work it out with them without them being a party, and we did.
Excellent.
The 55 and older housing on Locust Avenue has also, the agreement's been made there. We did some, again, I want to thank our negotiators, because once we had come to an agreement and we were heading down the final stretch, the developers, being business people, would oftentimes, I think, take a look at the fact that it was crunch time and maybe try and squeeze something else out.
Sure.
It's to be expected, okay? But our people did a nice job there and brought all this home. We obviously have the King's property, which has been agreed upon, as well as the theater.
Nice.
So it's all wrapped up in a bow, so to speak. Now, we have things we need to get done during that period of time. In reaching the goals. Got it. Okay, and but we feel very, very good about what we've done. We also managed to incorporate in all of those agreements what we have recently passed. The council passed it. What is commonly known as Part 19 of the design standards.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, essentially, is if you don't have specificity with respect to what you want builders to do, they don't have to do it.
Sure.
Okay. And for example, we want some consistency in our downtown. With respect to bricks, color, lighting, roofs, and so on and so forth. Now, these 4 areas I mentioned, only 2 of them are downtown. Okay, so we managed to have the Locust property, as well as the Connell property, to the extent it's appropriate, to comply with Part 19.
Oh, nice. So we're getting a generalized feel of the whole town of Berkeley Heights, not just between Snyder and Plainfield Avenue.
Right, and one of the things that I'm really looking forward to, I think this is going to be a great addition to the town. The developer at Kings, agreed to basically take the roadway that cuts through there, Sherman Avenue, as everybody knows, and extend Sherman Avenue all the way out towards Plainfield, widening it and giving us more of a boulevard look, which will hopefully enhance people's desire to walk down there.
Nice.
Okay, so all of these are great things that the town's looking forward to, and of course we want to bring that into conjunction, meaning bring that into the area of where our new town hall will be. Okay, which brings me up to the next issue, and that is redevelopment as it currently stands. Okay, essentially, we're at the following position right now with respect to redevelopment. The discussions with the church, the Little Flower Church, are still ongoing.
Okay.
Okay, that is not.
Everyone's still at the table.
Everyone's still at the table,
Good.
and there are some issues there. We get a lot of lawyers involved, so you know what happens there, right, Doug? So there's some things that have to be ironed out there, but that's really of no moment to the council and the elected officials in this town. We are moving forward with respect to the Township Administration Building. Now, that leads me to one of the questions, or a couple of questions that I've been asked in the last week or so, and they really kind of, flow out of the political season, okay? And various comments are being made in writing, and it's irrelevant who makes them. It's not important. The question is are the citizens getting the correct information?
What are the facts?
What are the facts? And
to redevelopment.
And there's been some suggestion, for example, with respect to the amount of money we're borrowing and so on and so forth, and what our debt is and so on and so forth. So there's been representation that our current debt is $21.3 million, and that is not true. Our current debt is $16.4 million, and that's rolling off on a monthly basis. And I know that because I spoke directly to the CFO today to get that information. And I want to highlight to everyone in town, if you have any questions about our budget, or if you have any questions about where your money is being spent, you can reach out to our people, and they will arrange, given the time and given their availability, to speak to you about that. So we don't have 21.3 million. We have 16.4.
That's current debt.
That's current debt, and that's rolling off each month. Now, the projected bond is $27 million, ballpark. 22 of that towards construction, the remaining towards professional fees and the like.
Can I get one of those jobs?
Well, you can bid. Okay.
No, I'm only kidding.
Now, there's been a suggestion that following the sale or the potential sale of or us taking the Hamilton property and then selling it, there's been a suggestion that the remaining bond will still be over 20 million, and that's also not true. The remaining bond would likely be diminished from the 27 million down to about anywhere from 13 to 15 million, or 14 to 15 million, because that's what we anticipate that area going for in general. So those are facts.
Those are the hard numbers.
Correct. There was also a reference to the fact that that one individual, that one no vote to this could bring this to a conclusion, i.e. stop it. That's also not true.
Meaning on the township committee?
Meaning on the township committee, correct. A little background. Our form of government has a mayor and 6 elected individuals on the council. The mayor only votes in instances of a tie. Right.
Okay.
And in this particular issue with respect to redevelopment, 2 of our council people, Council President Gene Kingsley and Councilman Mike DeQuilla, both recused themselves because of their connection with Little Flower. They did so voluntarily. There was no requirement that they did so. They did so voluntarily. So that leaves 4 voting members.
Got it.
Our lawyers have repeatedly indicated that 3-1 passes.
Yeah.
So if in fact there is a 3-1 vote, you move forward. So if there's any representations floating around out there that a 3-1 will halt this, that's again an incorrect piece of information. Again, it's irrelevant who said it.
Yeah.
It's just important that the people understand. There's also been reference to the fact that there's an outstanding lawsuit, which there has been, brought by...
there's a couple outstanding, or just
one
now?
Just one.
Now we're down to
There's
just one.
And
for a while there were several.
And a citizen, Karamatullo, who attends many of our meetings, brought a lawsuit which was summarily dismissed, and she has taken it up on appeal. Lawsuits do not stop the town from executing its business. Okay? What stops a town are court orders. There are no court orders. Okay? We're very comfortable with the decision that we received from the court. We are moving forward, so that is not stopping anything. So any inference, direct or otherwise, that will impact redevelopment is inaccurate and just not so.
Yeah.
So I think that's important because people need to know 2 things. They need to know what the process is for redevelopment.
Exactly.
Obviously. And number 2, insofar as they get involved with the political voting process, they need to know what the facts are, and they can make their decision based upon whatever their own personal choices are.
But that's it. But you got it. We want to get the facts out, and that's what the show's all about: is to empower the residents with information that's accurate.
Right.
But so the bottom line, at the end of the day, if everything goes according to Best case scenario, we're in for about 13 million plus our current 20 million for total deficit?
Well, it would be maybe 13 to 15 plus we have the diminishing, what was 16.4 coming off.
Coming off.
Now, this is
Just so people can get an idea of
Yeah.
a bottom line total number, which
probably-
will be diminishing, but
You're probably talking 16.4. Now, obviously, all of these have been secured at various rates.
sure.
Okay, right now, the rates are incredible from a borrower.
Super low, yeah.
Tremendously low.
money's cheap.
And let me speak to a little bit of that. The first step in the redevelopment process would be to take the salt dome, which is located behind this facility, and it has to be moved because the area that Salt Dome is currently sitting on will be part of the footprint for the new building.
Yeah.
So once that's moved, all right, okay, meaning built somewhere else, this one's raised, then the next phase can start. Now, we need to make a decision because what has to be done there is it has to be bid as to how we're going to do it. It shouldn't be particularly difficult because a salt dome, from my understanding, is you're pouring cement for a base and walls, and it's more than likely prefab to some extent. We need to decide whether we're going to put that in the 2017 budget or look to acquire what's known as BANs, bond anticipation notes, which you then can take the bond anticipation note and roll that into a bigger bond as we move forward.
got it.
So with the cost of money, it's cheaper to let somebody use somebody else's money
Sure.
than it is your own because we can continue to pay down those notes that are at a higher rate. Okay, and we
cheaper ones.
Right, and we have a what I think is a fiscally prudent approach to dealing with surplus and using that surplus to pay down.
Got it.
Okay.
Excellent.
In conjunction also with the redevelopment, as everyone knows, there's going to be a restaurant up at Connell. They anticipate an early 2017 opening, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
We have a bid out there right now with respect to the purchase of a liquor license. We think
For them.
For them, correct. That is not issued by the town, but the town controls it. It comes out of the state. Any hotel with 100 or more rooms, the town is entitled to a liquor license.
Got
From
it.
that liquor license, there is a 3%, that is a one-time payment. Now, that is in addition, obviously, to a hotel once it's open for the 3% sales tax per room per night. That goes to the town.
Nice.
So,
So finally, we're going to get some of those extra taxes that you see on the bottom of your bill
Yeah,
when
the-
you go out.
right.
They're going to stay here finally.
every time they say, give me $7 more, and you
Yeah.
give it to them, that goes to us.
Now we know we're going to get some of that.
Yeah,
That's
and the
good.
question then is how is that going to be appropriately assigned? Personally, I'm a strong believer that you do not take on any long-term debt because you happen to be flush in 1 or 2 years, because
Yeah.
you're still going to have to pay that debt, whether it be continuing salaries or something else down the road. It's just not a smart way to conduct business. So that's pretty much the immediate issues with respect to affordable housing.
Nice.
And as you said, you said many times, Doc, the connection between affordable housing and the redevelopment.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
It's right there. Now, ultimately, and again, this is all part of the downtown redevelopment, and I'm going to get into at the next segment, Peppertown Park, which I think the town is going to be very excited about when they say. But everyone's aware of the Veterans Park, which is across the street, and how well that's done. And there is the council has a goal here to tie in this entire area and make it green.
Well, that's also where the beautification committee's been working so hard at giving it, you already mentioned, a common feel throughout the whole town, not just the downtown area, but the parks, the Mondelli Park, as well as new Memorial Park. That's all tied into the beautification committee, correct?
Absolutely, and the committee the Veterans Committee across the street, again, these are all volunteers.
Yeah, isn't that
okay?
nice?
And it's so great because you see the level of enthusiasm that they're bringing to this, and the Veterans Park was so well done and so well received that we're just trying to harness that
Going off of
enthusiasm
that.
and move on.
Now, the old movie theater, that's going to be a combination retail housing, or is that just going to be retail up there?
No,
'Cause that's right on Springfield Ave.
It is, and it is probably the most often commented about piece of property that people want to know what's going to happen. That and Kings. Okay, so both of them are going to be fixed.
Yeah.
What you're going to get at the movie theater are 21 apartments, some of which will be duplexes.
Wow.
And from what we've seen initially, they may be the nicest of anything that's going up in town. But we're also going to get 4,400 square feet of retail in the back, okay. Which will open up onto the redeveloped area of Sherman.
Yeah.
So
it more foot traffic through
correct.
there.
So you think about it, and it would be a great place maybe for a restaurant of some kind, because you're going to have all that open seating in the back. There's a distance between where the movie theater ends and the street starts.
Exactly.
So that would be a nice thing. Right now they're looking at 2,200 square feet retail establishments, but I'm sure that could be split up anyway.
That's a lot of space.
It is.
Just, I mean, in movie theater, you think about it, it was an old school movie theater, big screen, so there was a lot of space in there. But when you break it up into units like that,
that's just the retail. That's not the various 21 or so. I think it's 21 residences in the locale. So again, it's going to be the next few years in this town are going to be exciting times. I think we're moving forward.
There haven't been exciting times enough for you the last couple of years.
That's true. But I think people are going to see some real good changes in this town that have been done, with a sense of design, with a sense of purpose, okay, with a sense of trying to tie this thing together, make it a town that people will come downtown to enjoy, help our businesses, and just try and tie the whole thing in.
Just the other day, somebody had mentioned to me that. Moving the municipal complex and putting up a new municipal complex, it's like, well, how come? I'm like, I guess I haven't been watching our shows. But I mean, the original plans to rechange this go back how many years?
30 years.
Yeah.
30 years. So
it's quite and it's time.
It's probably 6 to 10 different councils have seen the issue, okay? There were studies done. The study that was done on this by our planner and so other, the issues and problems here are myriad, okay? And anyone that suggests that they can be done superficially doesn't understand, okay? We're in non-compliance all over the place with federal regulations and rules, and we have a police department. The Detective Bureau's been operating out of a trailer.
Wow.
It was temporary, but it's been 20 years worth of temporary.
Yeah, well,
so
we got our use out of the
trailer.
You know
what? This town deserves an attractive, multi-purpose town hall that's going to satisfy the library needs. We've got a library now that is a myriad, it's Byzantine, okay, as to how it is. And we're going to fix that, and we're going to get our seniors over here, okay, and we're going to get the police department in an updated facility it's going to be tremendous, and the entire town is going to be able to take advantage of what we have to offer there. And not only that, we're getting maybe somewhere in the area of 50 new parking spaces, which
that's always key.
And when you're trying to sell homes along a railroad line, and you can say there are parking spaces, well,
that helps.
That helps your home.
No, that helps. No, that's one thing I need to notice even by the building I'm in is parking's a premium. Even outside of that, the hub of the downtown area. So now you had mentioned a moment ago that. About Peppertown Park, but before you go into that, I want our live audience to give themselves a big round of applause.
Yeah, they are alive.
Oh boy, they are alive.
They're alive.
I think they're alive.
Sometimes they look like still pictures, but
yeah, can we put in one of those applause signs over our head in the budget, or maybe somebody can donate one? We could really, or so just come and hold it up. Yeah. But anyway, our live audience is here, and we do film at 6:45, the third Thursday of every month, and we go off at 7, and we're live streaming. But Peppertown Park, you wanted to say something about that before we take a short break?
Yeah, again, tied into the veterans, we've got individuals that, they just stepped up and said, look, let's go right across the street. Let's get this done. And we'll talk a little bit more about it when we come back from the break.
Okay.
And I think the town's going to love it. And it's ambitious, but, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Well, that's Berkeley Heights. We're ambitious. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio with your mayor, Robert Woodruff. We're going to take a short break and be right back. Stay tuned. back to the show. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio with Mayor Woodruff. Mayor, you wanted to spend some time talking about Peppertown Park. We changed the set a little bit. We're now ambulatory. Hide everybody at home, but we have some graphics here. Please explain to me what's going on as well as the people at home.
Okay, well, as I indicated, a significant number of the same individuals involved in the veterans came forward and asked, and 2 nights ago, the council agreed to pass an ordinance.
Just 2 nights ago.
Two nights ago, all right? They've already got a 501c3,
Nice.
which helps them from a raising dollar standpoint, and the council straw voted an agreement, so we're going to prepare the ordinance and get this going. Peppertown Park, as everyone knows, has been around for a while. It is heading away from the train station down towards the Kings, and this is pretty much the area. Up in the right-hand corner, it indicates the costs of what is known as Phase 1. There's anywhere from 3 to 4 phases, and they're broken down according to costs and what we think we can get done reasonably. Now, a little information. We've just received a $50,000 grant. The Recreation Commission did. That there's some discussion between the Recreation Commission and this Peppertown Park group to allocate that $50,000 to some of it to the Peppertown Park. Okay. In addition, we got a separate grant because what we're going to do here is this. Traditionally, we have lit the Christmas tree right out front here, okay, and that has been everyone enjoys that, and so on and so forth.
That's part of the Winter Walk this year.
It's part of the Winter Walk, and but you know, we have done so much work with that Veterans Memorial, and I've always felt that a Veterans Memorial is a 365-day a year.
It should be.
It should be, and if we're going to honor those people, that's how it should be. So in doing so, what we're going to do this year, we're going to kind of fence off from a distance so we can still use that tree, but there won't be the people walking around that area that there normally would be, because we're going to center the whole thing on the current Peppertown Park.
Got it.
And we're going to, okay, and then our hopes are to basically clean out this Peppertown Park and put in what we described as a great lawn. Okay.
Cut down the trees?
Cut down the old trees. There's 2 trees right in the middle that serve no purpose. We're going to cut them down. We're going to get a brand new tree, Christmas tree, and place it, okay, just towards the railroad track side of this.
Got it.
We have the money. We have $5,200 grant towards that. Now, it was probably going to be purchased from the same place that we got the tree right out here, similar size, okay,
Nice.
and that's going to be the new traditional place for our Christmas gathering,
Nice.
our holiday gathering.
Nice.
Because what we're going to do is right now everybody knows that there are numerous blocks and bricks that people paid and what have you. We're going to take all them up and reset them in a pattern like a horseshoe.
Very nice.
All the way around, and putting more of them obviously right in front of the tree, okay, opening up this entire lawn.
Got it.
Okay? And that's where
Great
we
for
hope
concerts.
that's where we hope to have concerts. Eventually, we would like to put an amphitheater kind of situation in this end, and what have you. The trees that are at this end will all remain, obviously, as will the clock. Okay. Ultimately, we'd like to possibly also park at an angle, okay, along Sherman.
Is there enough space there?
There is. Okay, there is without. Now, this is Green Acres.
We usually park, you know, along
Correct.
this way, and it looks kind of tight.
But to do so, we would take a small piece, okay,
Got it.
from this. But it's Green Acres, but apparently we can do it. So again, that's down the road. That's not necessarily Phase 1. So Phase 1 is going to cost $116,950, and I want to thank Hall's Garden, who really did a heck of a job putting together.
Numbers.
Absolutely, and they have put a professional, series of 3 or 4 diagrams together for us, and we want to thank them, and they are part of this. So this, if you think now, this ties in then with the Veterans Park diagonal across the street. This will then also tie in to the new town hall, which the parking area is all going to have benches, and it's going to be landscaped. Now, that brings us to Vito Mondelli, the late Vito Mondelli, who was kind enough, and if you look at this, his property would be right about here.
Exactly.
Okay? He bequeathed that property to the town. we said we would take it, but subject to not to the cost issue. Now, we are in discussions now, in the discussion stage, with having a developer come in, and there is a house print on that property to put up, and then they would agree to build a park and maintain it in perpetuity, which means that if they sell the property, they are going to manage their own property. So in other words, they bring them up, they still manage. They will agree to build it and maintain it in perpetuity. If they sell it, it goes, the seller purchases it with that understanding.
Exactly.
So now we're tying in a park on the corner with the Veterans Park, across the street in the Mondelli property,
Nice.
across the tracks to the Great Lawn, and then back to the.
Very cool.
That's
cool.
what we're trying to do.
I like it. Now, you had said a group came together. They already formed a 501c3.
They've already done it.
Are they just residents, or I
absolutely.
kind of missed that part on because now you're saying we're spending, and it started off with some people came forward with a 501c3. So how does that?
Well, we're not. This will be built with private funds.
Okay.
This will be built with private funds. Okay.
All right.
We need $116,000, and like I said,
the 501c3.
that's
came
all
in.
the 501c3.
That was kind of their brainstorm, the Peppertown Park Committee's
Well, what happened
brainstorm.
is it really flowed, as I said, from the Veterans Park.
Got
okay?
it.
It kind of flowed across the street, and like I said, it was the success of the one effort, and really
understand.
the success and the effort of everyone in town that contributed.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. I just wanted people to be clear that we're that combination tied together.
Correct, and really where this is, and the people, tomorrow the Chamber of Commerce is meeting in here, and we're going to discuss that with the Chamber of Commerce. And again, this can only help benefit everybody. And
I love it.
It makes the town, because people forget something. You know, hundreds of people a day go right through our town.
Yeah.
Okay, and they see what's happening in Berkeley Heights.
It's a great town. It's a great place to be. I love the idea. Mayor, a lot of information tonight.
Yeah.
I love the new exciting things that we're just getting out, and the people watching it live are going to find out before they see it on the website with our show that'll be edited and put together for next week. And we're going to close up. You got any closing comments before we sign off?
You know, we've got the Winter Walk coming up, and we want everybody to join that, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. It certainly did last year. Last year was such a success that we have
Yeah, it's going to be great.
a lot more involvement this
great.
year.
Well.
And we're looking forward to that. And just keep this in mind, this Peppertown Park thing in mind.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Got a lot of good things going on in town.
Well, let me say one more thing while I'm at it, even because it's in my mind. There's been some discussion about fields, okay? And I just want everybody to know that 90% of the fields, 95% of the fields are owned by either the Board of Education or the county.
All right.
All right, so we are trying to work with those entities, okay? The county would be more than willing to take back, but if they take it back, then they take back control, which means you can't tell who's going to be on that field.
Yeah.
With respect to the school board, we'd love to work with them, but like everybody knows, 56 cents out of every dollar goes to the school board. We get 18 cents.
Yeah.
So we need a little give and take on that. So, but we're looking forward to working with all those groups, and hopefully we can approve the only two fields we own: Memorial and Sansone, which is up at Horseshoe.
You know, so Mayor, there's a lot of great things going on in town, really fantastic to see. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio for the Mayor's Roundtable with Mayor Robert Woodruff. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and a big shout out to our live viewers at home. Have a good night.